Howdy folks, I'm Mangard the Mayo Man,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit.
He's actually Brian.
Amber says that I'm actually Brian. I don't know about that. What do you folks think? Anyhow, let's get started. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Give My Father the House My Grandmother Left Me? Some important context. My father left me when I was 10. I came home from school one day and he was gone and I was alone. My grandmother eventually took me in, and that moment gave me issues that I'm still working through. My grandmother passed away and was buried a couple weeks ago. I saw my father for the first time in 14 years at his mother's funeral. After the will was read, we learnt that my grandmother had left me her property. My father was furious. Apparently he feels he has more rights to her property than I do because she was his mother. He's been harassing me to hand the property over to him and promising that when he dies, I can have it. I don't want to give him the property because if my grandmother wanted him to have it, she would have put it in her will. My father has been going around telling the family that I stole his mother's property rights from under him and I'm trying to punish him for leaving me. My family has been reaching out to me to tell me that even if he abandoned me, that I shouldn't forget the importance of filial piety and how being good to my father, even if he isn't good to me, is what makes me a good daughter. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but the comments and suggestions are beginning to wear me down. Am I the jerk? Alright, OP. Well, let me ask you this. Your grandmother was essentially a parent to you, right? One might even say that she was your mother, and that she raised you as if she were her own child. So in that respect, you would be much like her daughter. And for your father to claim that you he's her son and that he's being robbed of this right, I think forgets the importance of how you were treated and how your grandmother took you under her wing. So it sounds like, well, one, I want to apologize. Well, one, I want to give my sincerest condolences to you. I'm sorry that your grandmother passed. That's a really hard thing, and I know that's probably been rough on you, especially since she was essentially your only parent. And I'm really sorry for that. And your father is now coming into your life to reopen old wounds, to demand that you give him property because he's a greedy person. So he was self-interested before, he's self-interested now, and that's not going to change. He's never going to be a father figure to you. He's just wanting to use you. And so, yeah, you know what I say? I say get a good restraining order and never speak to the man again. Anyhow, take care and good luck. You are not the jerk. You owe your father nothing for walking out on you. Don't even engage with him. Block his number if you have to. If he attempts to confront you in person, walk away. Put all of your relatives on blast and tell them that the matter has been decided and that you're keeping the house, and that you will block anyone who attempts to continue to discuss the topic. A fire can't burn without oxygen, so starve the issue of all its fuel. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Revealing the Truth About My Sister's Pregnancy? I'm a 29-year-old male and I have two sisters, Sierra, who is 33, and Selena, who is 27. They are both married and are both pregnant. Sierra has been trying to get pregnant for many years, and this will be Selena's second child. Our whole family is excited for them, of course, and since I'm close to both of my sisters, they gave me their gender envelopes so I can plan the celebrations. I'm an event coordinator. The original plan was to have the double gender reveal at first and then have a double baby shower later. However, last minute, Sierra told the family that we should just have one big party in order to save money and time, and also because COVID numbers are rising again. We all agreed, and I revealed to the family that both of my sisters were having girls. We just had their party last month and everything went well. I threw the most lavish party I could come up with for my future nieces. However, last week I was over at Sierra's house and went into her bedroom to grab a pen from her desk. When I opened the drawer, I found an open gender envelope addressed to Selena. I saw that Selena was actually having a boy and not a girl. When I confronted Sierra over the text about having Selena's open envelope, she confessed that she switched the envelopes before I took it to plan the party. She also confessed that she'd been mad about Selena being pregnant for a second time and that it's not fair for her first child to have to share the spotlight, especially considering the years of infertility that she faced. She made me promise not to tell anyone. I sympathized with her at first, but then I asked what's the point of changing the gender. Sierra said, and I quote, "I tricked Selena into coordinating her baby registry list with me. So whenever she finds out that she's actually having a boy, she can give me her registry things. Plus, she already has a son and her husband is a doctor, so she can afford to buy new things for her son or just rely on hand-me-downs." That statement felt so disgusting to me, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What's even worse was that yesterday, Selena and her husband came back from the doctor's office and were heartbroken to find out that they're actually having a baby boy because they already made a girl nursery room. She apologized to me profusely about having to plan the wrong gender party and that her guest wasted money on the wrong gendered gifts. When I saw tears in both her and my brother-in-law's eyes, I couldn't stop myself from confessing the truth. Rightfully so, they both became extremely angry and told our family what I told them. As of right now, Selena is only talking to me and nobody else. Sierra, on the other hand, got the whole family on her side. My family told me I had no reason to cause drama. They're also telling me that Sierra's health is at risk from all the stress, and if something happens to her first baby and possibly her only baby, I'm at fault. But frankly, I don't care about Sierra anymore. So, am I the jerk?
No.
Amber says no. I'm inclined to agree. This is so conniving and such a mean, awful thing for her to have done. Like, this is not good. This is not good at all, OP. You are not a jerk. I mean, the only thing I could probably fault you here for was not saying something sooner. And it's hard to say how much time elapsed, and things like this are very difficult to, figure out because like it's such a bad situation, So I'm sorry that you have to be in the middle of it. It's not good. Your sister's very much conniving, and I don't know, like maybe she did you a favor by having her cut out of your life because it sounds like she's not a great person. I'm sorry that your family also turned on you. I don't know what they're thinking here. Like they're only going to alienate you and your sister from the whole family. So I think it's terrible. I really do. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, when did we decide that a pregnant woman can do no wrong and carrying a baby excuses you from being a jerk? It's absolute BS that your family are giving your sister a pass for her bad behavior. You absolutely did the right thing and absolutely not your fault if anything happens to her baby. Your family are wild to take her side. Don't be shy, show them this post. Side note, I don't love the idea of gendered items, etc. Can we move from the pink and blue BS? Anyway, sorry irrelevant, you are not the jerk. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for putting my boyfriend over my sister? Spoiler alert, she's not talking about holding him over her. So I'm a 23-year-old female and I've had 4 boyfriends and I've dropped every single one because my sister, a 15-year-old female, says that they made her uncomfortable. Of course, I have had no proof that supports these accusations, but out of respect for my sister and the unknown, I would break up with these guys. Fast forward to now. I met an awesome dude and he makes me so happy. We haven't been able to travel, but we FaceTimed. A few days ago, I posted a picture of both of us and my sister texted me and said, he makes her uncomfortable. And I was like, what? You haven't even met him yet. She got flustered and said it's something about him. Here's where I might be the jerk. I told my sister that I am not dumping this guy and that she has no right to complain about someone she hasn't even met. She got really upset and I got a text from my mom calling me a jerk for putting this guy over my sister. Am I the jerk?
No.
Amber says no. I'm agreeing here. What? Your sister sounds like she just doesn't want you to be happy more than anything. I don't know. What is her motivation behind this? I think you need to have a sit down heart to heart with your sister and try to understand what about these individuals she finds uncomfortable? Is it that she finds it uncomfortable that you're in a relationship? Her being uncomfortable is one thing, and I think finding the root cause of her uncomfortableness is a totally different thing. Like, if she's uncomfortable because they're creeping on her, yeah, you should have definitely break up with them. If she's uncomfortable because they like certain things or look a certain way, then that isn't necessarily a good grounds for dumping someone. So I do think you need to find the root cause for this, and maybe not. I mean, maybe you don't need to, but it sounds like there's something else going on here with your sister, so it might be worth digging into that. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. Ask your mother how your sister is anyway harmed by a picture of the guy you're dating. Then ask her how many times you're supposed to put your sister's apparent discomfort with the mere concept of you dating ahead of her realizing that this may be something that she needs to examine and get a handle for your sake. And if both of them continue to be unreasonable, put them on social media timeout at the very least. A part of me is wondering if OP's mom put her sister up to this. The fact that their mom was so quick to defend the sister when she hasn't even met the person just seems odd to me. It does. That brings up a really great point. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Policing My Wife's Caffeine Intake? My wife and I are 30, married for 2 years. My wife frequently likes to have a cup of coffee in the evening, around 2 hours before going to bed. I have observed that this makes her settle into bed more slowly. I have mentioned this to her many, many times. She has chronic pain condition which probably is impacted by her caffeine intake, making it harder for her to do routine things, leaving me to pick up the slack. When I've mentioned it, she says her doctor does not believe caffeine intake affects her condition. That's not really my point, it's more about her overall health being impaired by less restful sleep. This week, I decided our household should be coffee-free, and discarded the coffee machine and pods. I told my wife that if she wants to drink coffee, she should get it from the cafe on her way to work. This is not a financial hardship, and I rarely drink coffee in the home anyways. It's all about you. I mean, it's like, oh, well, I don't drink coffee in the home anyhow, so it's more of an inconvenience for her. My wife has been very mad at me for policing a habit that she enjoys and considers harmless. I noticed that she's been going to bed more smoothly since the coffee left the home, but she continues to be angry at me for a short time. I'm beginning to wonder if I went overboard. Am I the jerk?
Yes.
Amber says yes. I'm inclined to agree. Here's the thing, is that your wife is an adult and she gets to make her own decisions. And if she has chronic pain, then this is something that she needs to deal with. As for her drinking coffee 2 hours before bedtime, this is a difficult situation. She is entitled to make her own choices, even if they're bad choices. And I do understand with you saying that you have to pick up the slack, but I have a feeling that this is you being more controlling than anything. And I think that you were really, really wrong about throwing stuff out. So, OP, I would say that while it's fine to bring up your concerns here and, tell her that you really think that this is impacting her health in a negative way, and it may very well be impacting her health in a way that her doctor doesn't necessarily see, because if she isn't being honest with her doctor and saying, oh yeah, I'm drinking coffee right before bed, then he may just think that this is a normal, regular habit. If she's drinking excessive amounts of coffee, that may not be good for her health. Small amounts of coffee has actually been known to be good for your health, but if you do have sleeping problems, you should probably avoid it in the evenings. But for me, for instance, I could technically drink coffee right before bed, and it would not impact whether or not I fell asleep. This isn't necessarily the case for everyone, but caffeine impacts different people differently, and that's just the reality of it. So if your wife enjoys drinking coffee in the evening, and I would say that maybe you could make a suggestion of saying, well, I know you like drinking coffee in the evening. Would you be willing to consider drinking decaf in the evening? And that might be a compromise that she would be willing to make. It might just be that she enjoys a nice hot beverage in the evenings. So I think that you do need to talk about this, but I think forcing someone to bend to your will like this is completely inappropriate. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Marriage counseling. You're the jerk, your wife is an adult, and wasting food products is childish. I seriously hope that this post is fake because I would be mad if my partner threw away my coffee pods and machine without asking me first. Yeah. According to our doctor, it's not a problem. If you are not a doctor, you should defer to the person who is. You are supposed to be a team. Making unilateral decisions and treating her like a child is ridiculous. Caffeine withdrawal is also sometimes painful, which could make your wife's condition worse, which is why she may be settling into bed faster, by the way. I'm beginning to wonder if I went overboard. Am I the jerk? Yes, you did, and yes, you are. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.